Dallas Cowboys fans, NFL draft nerds, welcome in. Right now, it's time for our first Dallas Cowboys 2025 7-round mock draft. It is Combine week, obviously. We're going to get some on field work starting on Thursday. But before we get to that, we've got this Cowboys mock draft. And obviously, as we always do, we're going to look at this offseason. What questions are we trying to answer for the Cowboys? How are we trying to move this thing forward before you get to the draft as well? Because free agency is a huge part of it. You're not going to find a Super Bowl team that is built exclusively through free agency. You're not going to find a Super Bowl team that is built exclusively through the draft. It is both, right? And the Cowboys have been primarily a build through the draft team. They have very infrequently spent much in free agency. I'm hopeful that this is a team that wants to win a Super Bowl for Cowboys fans out there, right? I am hopeful that Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and company are trying to win a Super Bowl. Is that the case? I don't know, but we're going to be on the optimistic side of things here. We're going to say that the answer is yes. The Dallas Cowboys are trying to win a Super Bowl. What do we need to do? We need to extend Micah Parsons. I know there's some Cowboys fans that don't love him. This is one of the most talented players in the game. If he were to be available via trade or free agency, whatever it may be, he would be probably the highest paid player at his position, quite frankly. Myles Garrett's probably about to get a big new deal. I think if Micah Parsons came in behind, he would be the next, number one guy setting the edge market, right? So I think Micah Parsons, you got to extend him prior to the 2025 season. That's not going to eat any cap space. And right now, the Cowboys don't have a lot of cap space. But you extend Micah Parsons, right? You also have the ability to restructure Dak and or CD, clearing like $40+ million in cap space. Signing bonuses, you spread that out over the length of the contract. You can add void years if you want. That's the path. If you're unwilling to do that, I don't know how you push for a Super Bowl in the next couple years. I don't see it happening. So you've got to restructure Dak at the very least, and it just depends on how much you want to do each deal there. Like both of those guys have a huge cap number. Dak's obviously a lot bigger than CD's, but you could restructure one or both of them and clear up. I mean, you can clear up $40+ million in cap space easily and not really over leverage yourself for the future by being able to spread out that signing bonus. So I think that's what they need to do. I think they need to bring back Osa Odigizua. Awesome how he's developed into such a good interior penetrator. You can bring him back certainly after you're able to do those restructures, signing bonuses for your big money guys. I think you got to do that. He's too impactful, and the name of the game is creating disruption at the point of attack for a defense. He helps you do that. Micah Parsons helps you do that. So you want to make sure those guys are around. I think you need to sign a rotational interior defensive lineman as well. There's a couple guys that are set to be free agents, so you want to make sure you're set there with some depth. It's not that you can't address it in the draft, but I think you need a rotation. You need multiple guys that can get the job done for you. I say you sign a veteran edge, whether it's DeMarcus Lawrence, who's obviously coming off injury year, Dante Fowler, going to be a free agent again, Chauncey Golston, who stepped up for you last year. There's a lot of guys out there at the edge position that can provide depth and can help you out. Opposite Micah Parsons. I say you sign a guard as well. Look, whether it's Tevin Jenkins or Mekhi Becton, Will Fries, whatever, I would say go get it done. Again, we're trying to win a Super Bowl here, and you've got to do it through free agency and through the draft. And there's holes. I think you want to address your holes as much as you can before the draft. Now, even with doing all that, still have needs entering the draft, and you still have question marks. I mean, I have big questions about the tackle position. Yeah, you've made a huge investment in Tyler Guyton, and you got to pray that that works out. I also have questions about, at right tackle. I think Terrence Steele is more of a replacement level starter, than a pillar, right? He's 27 years old in the prime of his career, but dealt with injuries. He, I think, bounced back a little bit last year. Still, I don't think that that's a wonderful situation there. I think you feel good about Cooper Beebe. You feel good about Tyler Smith. Obviously, you lost your Hall of Fame guard retiring. I think you need another wide receiver, at least one. Obviously, Brandon Cooks set to be a free agent. You need running back. You can always use more big-time defensive linemen. Apparently, you need a backup quarterback per Stephen Jones. They want to draft one. I think they could use linebacker. I think you like some of what you've seen from Demarion Overshone, but I think you need a linebacker. I think you'd use a nickel as well. It looks like you look at the depth chart there that Jordan Lewis is set to hit free agency. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this Cowboys roster entering the draft. We're going to run this mock draft over on the PFF mock draft simulator. Going to get that fired up here in just a moment for you. We're trying to find the best values we can. And look, Ashton Jeanty, he comes off the board to the San Francisco 49ers at 11. That would be shocking. Quite frankly, that would be a major shocker. But it would not be surprising if Jeanty is off the board in general. Had he been available, he would have been my pick. He is a top 3 prospect on my board, coming in at 3 overall behind Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter, who are the top ranked prospects on my board at this point. I think Jahdae Barron is a little bit overrated. I'm not going to lie to y'all folks. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a top 10 player. You look at Tyler Warren, absolutely up there. Now the Cowboys at tight end, do they have a star? No. They have a couple guys that you can feel good about, obviously. Luke Schoonmaker step up a little bit last year. You obviously also have your Wisconsin tight end that's been doing a good job for you overall. I think Tyler Warren would be a massive step up in talent and versatility and the ability to affect the game in so many different ways, with his ability to block at the point of attack, to block in space, to carry the ball out of the backfield, to catch screen passes, to be a 3-level threat as a receiver. Great hands, contested catch ability, very limited focus drops in 2024. At 250, 260 pounds, he runs like a freight train. He's tough to bring down. This is a really impressive prospect. Can do it all for you. We talk about creating disruption up front. Mike Green will create disruption opposite Micah Parsons. I think it's a little early for him. You talk about being stout up front. Kenneth Grant. I know you're not going to want another Michigan man up front on the defensive line. I think it's a little early for him anyways. But Walter Nolan, right in that range too with Kenneth Grant, in my opinion, in the teens. He's going to be a dynamic interior penetrator. Josh Simmons. Could you bring in Josh Simmons and say, look, if Tyler Guyton doesn't develop, if Terrence Steele isn't playing at a high enough level, Josh Simmons, we can put in that starting lineup as soon as he's healthy, which recovering from an injury that cost him a lot of the 2024 season. Obviously, you have to vet that situation, make sure that the medicals are checking out for you. But Josh Simmons, he would probably be a top 8 player for me if he had been able to finish the 2025 campaign. On tape, he's a top 8 player for me. Malachi Starks is a great safety, but you kind of got safety taken care of a little bit, it looks like. Emeka Ibuka, I think you're starting to get... So there's an interesting dynamic here. I'm deciding between Tyler Warren and Josh Simmons. And as much as I love Tyler Warren, I think Josh Simmons is the most prototypical offensive tackle prospect in this class, bar none. I think he gives you flexibility for if Tyler Guyton isn't working out at the highest level that you would have hoped. If Terrence Steele is playing a little below average, you have the opportunity to get a supreme talent on the football field, and he's going to be a long-term starter for you either way. So we're going to plug in Josh Simmons to the Dallas Cowboys. And look, the Dallas Cowboys, when they've been at their best, they've been able to dominate up front. Offensive line, defensive line. That's what they need to get back to. It really is. And you talk about that defensive line. Yes, we need running back. We need wide receiver. Defensive line. I don't think Shamar Turner is, PFF's grades and rankings are significantly different than my own. But looking at edge defender, nothing that really pops in a big, big way for me. Like, I don't think any of those edge guys that are on the board right there are going to be better than somebody you could bring in free agency. Yeah, you want to continue to build depth out. Defensive interior, I look at Alfred Collins as an elite run defender, and I know the Cowboys could use that. I think linebacker, again, is a under talked about need. And Carson Schlesinger and Chris Paul are great prospects, in my opinion, at off-ball linebacker. Let's look at running back and receiver as well. Caleb Johnson for me, Travion Henderson. These are two guys you could get really fired up about. I do think it's earlier for Scottaboo, who just does not have the juice down the field. Dylan Sampson, I think, is a little overhyped there as well. Looking at wide receiver, this is a great spot. Xavier Restrepo is awesome. He's going to need to be in the slot a lot. I know you like to use CD in the slot as well. I think Jaden Higgins, with his ability to be a possession receiver, complement CD Lamb quite a bit. Do you want to wait a little bit on receiver? I know tight end could be a spot where you can upgrade to, and this is a great tight end class. Elijah Arroyo, Mason Taylor, I think would be great at this spot. Omar Norman Lott, he comes in a lot lighter than you thought he was going to based on what he was listed at Tennessee, but he is an explosive guy off the ball. Joshua Farmer, I think, he has a lot of talent as well. And Shamar Turner, he is talented, but I know there's been some issues with coaching with Shamar Turner. Tell you what, if Darius Alexander was still on the board, that would be a sprint to pick in for me. He came off in the first round. It looked like, 31 to the Chiefs. That would be disgusting. So we've got options here. We've certainly got options. Tyler Booker, had we not signed a guard in free agency, would be certainly a big option, big time option there. I think the best value right now is Travion Henderson, and with what we've done with the offensive line, signing a guard in free agency, you have Josh Simmons, who ready to get on the field, I think, and replace one of your two starters early on in year one, whichever is not producing. And you would probably say Terrence Steele, and you needed to continue to develop Tyler Guyton, who does have a lot of physical ability. But I think with Cooper Beebe, with Tyler Smith, with the addition at guard, especially if it's like a Tevin Jenkins or a Mekhi Becton, you have a lot of ability to block for the running back. And that running back is going to be put in a good position. Having Dak Prescott, a good quarterback, behind a strong offensive line, CeeDee Lamb clearing out space. I would take Travion Henderson, who can be a 3-down player from the jump. He's a very good runner, talented runner, explosive runner, low to the ground. I love that center of gravity, but can bend, can run like the wind. He's tough, great pass protector, great receiver out of the backfield. That's a 3-way threat for Travion Henderson that you never have to take off the field. Would love that for the Cowboys there. And Chris Paul's still on the board. We're sprinting that pick in. Look, I think he's going to help be a captain of your defense. Playmaker, doesn't miss a lot of tackles, is where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He is athletic. I think he's a good coverage linebacker as well. This is the type of guy that I think they can really use with this Matt Eberflus defense to shore up the second level of the defense. And now, I've said it, we need another pass-catching threat. I think Kyle Williams would be a home run of a pick. And look, the Cowboys, they have the picks 12, 44, 76. You feel great about that, but then you don't have another pick till the fifth round. So they're going to have to hit on a fifth round pick, which they have 4 of currently. Maybe you're able to use that to potentially trade up, but they're going to have to find some value on day 3 of this draft, I think. I think Kyle Williams is an awesome underrated player. A natural who I think is going to shine at the combine this week. He did a great job at the Senior Bowl, did a great job at Washington State. He's only 5'10", a buck 82, but I think he can play anywhere on the field with his skill set. Ty Felton, another one who I think could help you out a lot as well. Yeah, I think the tight end has been it's been picked off a little bit. I think Luke Lachey is a good value here. Oronde Gadsden really more of a jumbo slot receiver than a tight end, in my opinion. See if we have any value here. I think Junior Tafuna out of Utah is a tremendous value at this spot. I think any 3 of these and Cameron Jackson you could feel good about. So maybe we hold off because we feel good about the guys on the board there, several guys. Maybe we can go address a different spot. Let's see here. Q Robinson off the board. He's always my go-to mid to late round edge player, developmental guy who just can be a demon off the edge with his length and athleticism. Cowboys want their backup quarterback. Crazy. You see Jackson Dart getting first round buzz and then being available in the 5th round here. Quinn Ewers, I would not be going after. I could see certainly Kyle McCord or Tyler Shuck being a quality backup in Dallas. Could realistically address running back more than once, but we don't need to do it this quickly. Honestly, I'm leaning Kyle Williams here. Just go watch the guy play. Unbelievable. He should be a 3rd round pick in my opinion, so that's tremendous value. Make sure there's no one we want to upgrade the trenches with. I think Miles Frazier and Jackson Slater are both excellent value, and Clay Webb. Love the value on those guys there, so maybe we can hold off till the next pick. See what's going on the defensive front. Yeah, Junior Tafuna is, if we want to get more interior disruption and penetration, he's over 300 pounds. He's got over 33-inch arms. He's got the length and the size you're looking for. I think he can be fairly stout, but really his ability to create disruption in the backfield, I think, is his best trait. I love that. Maybe we'll double dip at defensive tackle. After we, of course, secure our backup quarterback, the most important thing we can do. Let's see. I personally think, McCord or Tyler Shuck, can't really go wrong either way. I would go Tyler Shuck. I just think he's got such a tremendous talent. His college career got extended due to injuries, but he's a dude that can absolutely throw the rock. Off platform, odd arm angles, ton of arm talent. He's a smooth enough athlete to get a lot of things done for you. See what we've got going on at interior defensive line again. We can check out corner as well. You can always use depth. And again, they might be needing a nickel. Would love to plug Jabbar Muhammad in there. See if we can wait on him. I think Cameron Jackson is just such a steal at this point. His ability to push the pocket, he's 340 plus pounds, has tremendous length, strength. He's explosive for his size. Again, being able to create disruption by pushing the pocket is a big deal. We got 3 picks left here. I don't think I want to hold off on Jabbar Muhammad anymore. Outside corner at Oregon, little undersized, certainly, but sticky as all get out, plays physical. Good luck creating a lot of separation against him. And again, if you need him in the slot, that makes a lot of sense there too. All right, so we got 2 picks left. I think Luke Lachey would be an insane value at this spot. We still got Clay Webb, Jackson Slater. Dylan Fairchild, he's an ass kicker, but I think he's severely lacking in the athleticism department. I think Joshua Gray is a value at this spot too. You just want to have depth on those lines of scrimmage. You absolutely do. So my highest rated guy here is Clay Webb. So that's where we're going to go. So we've really done a lot for our lines of scrimmage. Luke Lachey's gone. Yeah, Luke Lachey's gone. We could add another receiver. Let's see what we got here. Arian Smith, the ultimate speedster out of Georgia. Drop issues in college, but somebody who can stretch the field in a big way. Ja'Cory Brooks, transferred from Alabama. He's certainly got physical talent, physical upside. I don't think PFF has the biggest draft pool available at this point among some of the other draft sites, but they don't have ads. And the ads really were driving me crazy on some other sites. Not going to name any names. Yeah, I think we're going to go. I think we're going to go Arian Smith and try to just bring up the speed factor for this group of receivers. If he can hit, it could be a massive home run. He's got the ability to separate down the field, and Dak can hit him. So that's our draft here. Josh Simmons in the trenches on the offensive line. Clay Webb as well. Obviously, defensive front wise, we go get Junior Tafuna. We get Cameron Jackson. And then you needed running back. Travion Henderson can do it all for you. 3-down player. Chris Paul Jr. can do it all for you at linebacker. Kyle Williams, incredibly underrated. Had to go get our backup quarterback that Stephen Jones talked about. And then adding a nickel corner and Arian Smith, the speedster. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe, and y'all have a good one.